Nestled in the West Pacific, the Solomon Islands is known for its beauty, culture, and people. But today, it faces an emerging threat. Across the Pacific Ocean, criminal networks move quietly. And on land, a dangerous drug is taking root. Transnational drug smuggling within the Pacific region has gained significant attention in recent years, with cases emerging in Fiji and Vanuatu. Recent concerns have now shifted to the Solomon Islands, following the discovery of 3 suspected narco-submersibles in its waters. We are now here in Fourau Village, located in northeast Malaita, where the 3rd suspected narco-sub was recently found.
Time if I look in boat, me look in real little bit, Solomon. This time it is looking kind boat, I'm a little bit far away, me will stop the engine. If a little bit far, but me look go behind, no my engine, me tell him na borrow, oh. Me go side him for me go jump inside. Me jump inside, I'm full of water, see, then auto container roll inside no more. But me no feeling anything or some bomb or any gun inside. Same clear no man full time, then me walk about go behind. No man anything. When I basket no me looking behind, then me some come to valley. Hey, I think she didn't bring the inside there. Opening basket there, no man anything inside. Then me tell him no basket there. After no me tell him borrow, oh in buy me told him no boat there.
Cable me looking Colombia lem. Ota navigation blame osem wilaya ota GSA made in Vietnam now lem. Even time you were looking boat here, me no talem boat here take him drag. But ota police na ota come den okata they say by okata do investigation lem because I'm take him drag. So that one na me val community de seke. Okay. So I'm not me like for any science man for testing fast now. What now inside lo tank loya for me proof me fala. Me fala no me fala but like for using boat now. So I'm not me like for kata responsible person for doing investigation or tamas quick time for doing investigation lang.
So saya tum kam okat home okat story na eh wala boat no dia okat tum kam men float kam. He what can boat here, so me go witness him. Then me go witness him. Exactly me sabi na because during no here me hear him story no. Me looking to kind photo blow that for boat no at Facebook yan. O take him. He say, hey, but this will boat yan because him okata boat where a drug dealer okata use him ya. Me bara sabi go now. Thinking blam ni. I think I'm looking okata drug dealer ya. Okata find him Solomon see I'm safe ya. And I'm easy. Okata sabi come through. I'm now thinking blam me because I'm witness him not three para kind boat me looking finish ya.
After speaking with several locals, it is clear that many are unaware about the serious dangers posed by drugs like methamphetamine, which are increasingly trafficked worldwide.
This one by me say him bara osem knew something for me falaya. Ota wea ota drugs osem bara popular this time noma osem marijuana, cocaine or him kind osem noma osem by me fala herem den me fala sabi den osem me fala by talent for tapikin ini ada faisim o kita. For kainya osem me fala wea looking lo this time noma or day one where I'm inside boat ya where ota find him. Mi fala no herem any story about him no ma. Hem just ose mem new no ma for mi fala look him for mi fala herem too.
Because in the rural community, also people also not educated good. If things here arrive come then totokolaya come people, so people have to use him now. No machine. But this one also yeah. So by out have to use him on drugs here. Not have no what no good, but by out have to use him now. So I'm no meeting him.
Countless similar vessels have been intercepted by international authorities along the Eastern Pacific. Reports show that Colombian authorities, working alongside dozens of other countries last year, have seized 225 tons of cocaine in the span of 6 weeks, setting a global record for any single anti-narcotics operation. Part of the haul was found on a narco-sub traveling along a newly emerging drug trafficking route through the Pacific to Australia. The discovery highlights that the Pacific is being increasingly used as a transit route for drug cartels into Australia and Asia, where cocaine and methamphetamine are in high demand. Security analysts warn that as policing in other regions improves, criminal groups are probing new pathways, and Pacific Island nations with vast maritime zones and limited surveillance are in their sights. The international threat is just one side of the story. Here in Solomon Islands, communities are seeing a concerning rise in illegal drug abuse, especially with reports that methamphetamine, known locally as power, is becoming more common.
And like recently, my niece, I'm go school, and I'm come back, and I'm sa story na, beginning of class, to talk about them. Drugs. They were talking about how to make cocaine. They were talking about power and how they can access it. And they were like, praising me, like, hey, me start, pia pressure, I'm strong there. So me start worrying me, man. Or something, niece Blumina come back telling me about them. I'm like, oh, this is so sad for looking happen. Or some time by meeting say, okay, young people or communities were really broken and struggling. They just try to find way for get out of the reality of life. It's not just them. I'm sure that these drugs coming in have taken higher level of people for making them come into picking in the big man about aware a lot of things So it needs a whole approach to that one. On top of these drugs, we're still stuck hard for identify them crime or what, and then you have this new drug where I'm coming to So it's a very big issue where I'm so easy for Kasim young people, especially when we have a very youthful population, both female and male, and how I'm so impacted me negatively, I'm very big to us, yeah. It making me so frustrated and angry that our borders are no longer secure, and it making me questioning too much now government blame me. This government, previous government, like those people were supposed to keep me safe. But me say, government failing me big time, this one, very big time. Because the whole time we keep on worrying about what the people blame me inside here, but doing, but making me feel unsafe. But we don't really look na lot threats where can come inside, yeah. Hem osem imite na blanda, so time of something come in, hem dangerous go mana. So I think, we are so reactive, proactive, and hem make life limit just more at risk.
To better understand the impact of meth at the community level, we spoke with someone who is personally affected. The individual, who asked not to be identified, provided the following details under strict confidentiality. Their voice has been altered to conceal their identity.
Marijuana. So me taking me happen for looking at this one new drug power. Me try understand. So first time me taking then me notice him that feelings different and making me stay happy with him na jola first drug when me take him. Body no wiki body feel good, happy with him. But I blame to him a little bit different little bit too. So you adik claim and with him not a fresh drug. An expensive drug too much. But for current feelings claim bara one something where you don't feel in your lifetime. And that's a drug, yeah. Power. Tuan I'm sebelum saya kekambil but bin lo tahun lo onera. Roughly about 5 years.
They highlighted that regular meth use often triggers heightened aggression, which can lead to violence in homes and communities. The current street value of meth in the Solomon Islands is around $1,000 per gram and can climb even higher when supplies are low. Some users have gone to extreme lengths to sustain their addiction, often resorting to theft to afford the drug.
Basically, you face something for you, how you make money. Drug is expensive too, so for you misuse him, or things the same no too. Things still lo that one and one, it's a drug. But I think for them hard to you. Think only that one and running full-time life. You busy na, no rest na. Unless you finish na, but it's a rest. So you take him, most one for nugget stone no, then by you put in that low glass of smoke and powder. After you light him and turn into liquid, then smoke come.
They exposed that the drug is readily available for the general public and its abuse is extremely prevalent among school students.
What do you see? Start low primary class and secondary. Drug them no hard no more. Easy. So if you like them, you must pay them. So you make them easy. Nama tapi kisah buat bagaran selain mau bayar datuan yang nama tu, selain izin buat, yang kisah yang popular drug lain, selain easy tu mas. If today money where selain you talenting lem, baru misu problem kasih tu, ada buat after ini, bisa lebih linking out story, what kind of shit. For this time, any province, by say, I'm not casting. Every province, I'm casting. What's a place where for take them start run out of stock? Time about play lo then, I was saying. But big boys now.
This first-hand account highlights the real human cost of drug use, a cost that local health professionals are now seeing in clinics and communities across the Solomon Islands.
The level of abuse of drugs amongst mentally ill am quite high. And if him high also, probably him reflecting the level of abuse in our communities. So clinically, the number of cases where people are looking, where him associate with him drugs of abuse, him around 60 to 70, and even 80%. Yeah, so it's quite common, very common. So when we deal with these cases clinically, we deal with their diagnosis as well as dealing with them now, their behaviors relating to drugs of abuse. Yeah. Now, talking about drugs of abuse, yeah, we have a number of drugs where in circulation. Some fella have grown locally, some fella have brewed locally, and so have readily available to our, especially younger population, where are still growing up, experimenting on a lot of things in life. So slowly they get into the habit of abusing these drugs. The newly introduced ones, whether legally or illegally, also now in circulation. Enough data to substantiate him now, the availability and how much now these drugs, the extent of their abuse inside the society, but it's around. Example, methamphetamine, stories circulate that him now around and available and circulating inside the communities, and people are slowly starting to abuse these drugs. Kwaso readily available, new mixtures of different substances or people experimenting on. Cocaine. So cocaine is also one fellow around. Marijuana grown locally and even sold for money inside the society and communities. So these drugs are available readily and people are experimenting and abusing these drugs. To what extent? Probably if we do a proper survey, we'll be able to map them out now, the level of abuse in our communities and society.
While law enforcement struggles to control both internal and external drug flows, the health system is unprepared for a potential surge in meth-related mental illness.
The capacity of the service, even with the current burden of disease, if we talk about where service currently deal with him or handle him, service overwhelmed finish. So if we have an added burden with the introduction of this newer hard drugs, service already overwhelmed. We need to build this service, we need to resource these services so that we can better deal with this kind of situation if happen or potentially happening. Maybe we're talking only of matter of time, no matter when things changes happen. Best advice for family members and the community at large, within the context of our families, you may say how now you may live, how now you may relate, routines blame me. So you may say good when especially younger people blame me. When you start for looking at shift in their routines, in their pattern of interaction, in the social activities, then by you have a rhythm out no more. You must have a rhythm no more that things are starting to change. If you must have a hand out and try and reach out to them, ask them what now, what has changed. If Ogata ready for communicate, ready for talk, maybe we can help him for bring him to receive counseling and support and care. In terms of counseling services, you may get mental health services there at National Referral Hospital. You may get to Youth Hub, where established under the Honiara City Council Authority, located next to the multipurpose hall. Two young people below me, work closely with him to provide counseling services. Kilofi, imigaram unit below me there. At the provincial centers, imigaram mental health coordinators below me, where I can provide them support and counseling.
Away from the main ports, attention is shifting to another area of vulnerability: the sufferance wharves, small and privately operated docking points that support trade activities. These wharves operate with minimal oversight, limited customs presence, and inconsistent security checks.
We look at no street there. That one there, the thing blew me. Government should close him number. And should close him number because we think that if any entry have come in that illegal drugs and what have come in there, I'm go through number. Because this time what people there or the move around there, power is a number. Power plus land with him, what come in with him. No matter how you go casino there, no matter you go for check out something here, but you fall down, no matter power. So the thing will be for government, even Palermo, I'm should close him number. This was a private port. Living in museum, only one international port number.
Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee, Police Commissioner Mostyn Mangao confirmed that illegal drugs are slipping into the country through its seaports.
Do we know where these pills are coming? I mean, these drugs, ice, are not something where you garam lo penal code. Where is it being landed into the country?
Thank you, Chair. And, according to our intelligence, it's coming through our port of entry.
Which is?
Entry port Mlimia.
In Noro, Honiara, Iroe,
every port Mlimia.
Sufferance Wharves, everyone, Yanoma? Hi.
Really? We are unable to detect him now, the entry of these things, because, we are not resourcing them properly, yeah? That's one way for you for finding out whether or not the state is doing its responsibility.
You will share resources too. If customs no got enough officers, you will go board them ship with him. I mean, if we know the ships that are bringing this in, the types of people are bringing in, there must be something we can do in the interim.
Under our national security framework, we have a body in place of the law enforcement agencies where we collaborate in
smuggling,
sharing useful information, especially to do with issues like transnational crime and others. So,
even with this body already established, officials emphasized the importance of improving cooperation, particularly at the nation's entry ports. SIBC TV has reached out to the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force for comment on the narco-sub discoveries and the alleged rise in meth use in communities. As of this broadcast, no response has been provided. Minister of Police Jimson Tanagada presented police findings from the narco-sub investigations in Parliament this week. The investigations looked into vessels discovered between Central and Isabel provinces, along with the third sub found off Fourau Village in Malaita.
RSIPF have concluded that our vessels here are highly likely to have been used for transportation of illicit drugs, which may be consistent with the designs and features of narco-submarines, which have been used internationally for purpose of illegal trading of illegal drugs.
The investigations determined that the narco-subs had been at sea for less than a year before they were discovered. No drugs or weapons were found on board either vessel. Recommendations made following the investigation included conducting a nationwide public awareness campaign to encourage communities to report unusual maritime activities and improving collaboration with regional and international law enforcement agencies and other organizations within the security sector.
Also, we are working on to continue building capacity and resourcing support towards RSIPF's maritime and transnational crime unit for strengthening monitoring, interdiction and investigative response capability, given country Blumi within big ocean space, expensive for Yumi, able for maintaining security and lookout, lo borders Blumi, lo marine, area lo ocean Blumi, but we remain confident and thankful local partners Blumi were supporting Yumi for Yumi keeping Yumi level alert, lo fighting with information.
Authorities are now working to close legislative gaps under the Penal Code and Dangerous Drugs Act amid growing pressure from the public and political opposition. These gaps have allowed individuals arrested with meth to walk free. In September, opposition leader Matthew Wale highlighted serious systematic weaknesses in these acts, which criminalize import and export, but not possession, supply, or manufacture of meth. He urged the Ministry of Justice and Legal Affairs to amend the legislation and called for broader collaboration with foreign governments to ensure offenders are prosecuted under their own laws. Meanwhile, Prime Minister 𝐔𝐫𝐮𝐻 told local media that work is underway to address these legal gaps.
We are aware, I'm aware of the challenges posed by drugs, illicit drugs in our country. I've been informed by our Commissioner of Police on those incidences. We do have legal gaps. A good number of our legislations are outdated. As we speak, the AG chambers, they are meeting right now with other stakeholders, including police, to look at these gaps and quickly come up with amendments to the current outdated legislations so we can address issues of production as well as those who are involved, so that we can have strong actions taken against them. At the moment there are gaps, and some of these gaps we are handicapped by them. We are not able to do in terms of prosecution. So it is a priority and one that we would like to quickly bring to Parliament, hopefully before the end of the year or by the end of the year, if not the first session next year.
Earlier this month, the government introduced the Dangerous Drugs Methamphetamine Rules 2025, a landmark move to combat the rising threat of meth abuse. The new rules prohibit the possession, supply, distribution, and production of meth and set out the penalties applicable under the Dangerous Drugs Act. The regulations were officially gazetted and came into effect on November 5, 2025, marking a tougher approach on meth-related crimes across the country. On the international stage, Solomon Islands is a signatory to the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime, the Palermo Convention, signed on November 15, 2000. However, 25 years later, the ratification process is still on hold.
The process has been delayed in part due to limited technical as well as institutional capacity to fully understand the Convention's provisions. The government wants to ensure that the national laws, law enforcement mechanisms, judicial systems, and the necessary infrastructure are adequately prepared or in place before ratification.
The opposition continues to press the government, insisting that ratifying the convention is vital to national and regional security amid rising threats like drug trafficking.
It seems an unreasonably long time. And even if you mean already in terms of domesticating the requirements of law legislation, we would benefit from, even though you mean already, but you may exceed, we would obviously benefit by resourcing technical assistance and also for helping you for modernizing laws and systems globally.
For the people of Fourau Village, for the young and old across the nation, for the health and future of Solomon Islands, the message is clear. Authorities must act decisively and without delay to protect the nation's communities, its waters, and its future. The shadow of drug trafficking is no longer distant. It is here, and the time to respond is now.